UFC Fight Night Santos versus Walker with 13 fights on the entire fight card right there. The main event, Thiago Santos and Johnny Walker, 5 rounds in the UFC light heavyweight division. Aspen Ladd and Macy Chiasson in the Bantamweight division, the co-main event. Kevin Holland coming back to fight Kyle Dawkins, yet another wrestler and grappler type of guy after losing to Marvin Vettori and Derek Brunson back to back. He's gonna fight another wrestler and grappler type of guy right there. Really interesting fight in the middleweight division. Another fight in the middleweight division with Misha Kirganov and Krzysztof Jotko, Joe Selecki, Jared Gordon, Carol Rosa, and Besh Kohera, Douglas Andrade, Gaetano Porello, Devontae Smith, Jamie Malarkey, Alejandro Perez, Johnny Eduardo, Alex Oliveira, and Nico Price, Antonina Shevchenko, Casey O'Neill, Stephanie Egger or Edger, and then Shayna Young and Alexander Hernandez and Mike Breeden in the first fight right there. But really good fights on every single fight for UFC Fight Night Santos versus Walker. I cannot wait for the fight to happen, but right now, we're going to go into the first fight right here in the UFC lightweight division right here. Alexander Hernandez and Mike Breeden in the lightweight division. A short notice fight right here as Alexander Hernandez was supposed to fight Leonardo Santos. I really have no idea why Leonardo Santos ended up pulling out of the fight, but he did. And now we have a short notice fight with Alexander Hernandez and Mike Breeden in the UFC lightweight division. I'm going to say it right now, Hernandez is probably going to knock him out. I mean, he has way more power than Mike Breeden. He has way more speed than Mike Breeden. He has way more volume than Mike Breeden. He has way more pressure than Mike Breeden. He has better kicks than Mike Breeden. Maybe not the knees that Mike Breeden. Mike does have some pretty solid knees. The grappling's going to be pretty interesting because, I mean, I really don't see either guy being able to take down the other guy. But this one's going to be a striking fight. We're going to see someone get knocked out, in my opinion. Out of Mike Breeden's wins, 10 wins and 3 losses. 8 wins right there are by knockout. 2 wins are coming by a decision. 1 knockout loss and 2 decision losses. Out of Alexander Hernandez's 12 wins and 4 losses, we go down here. 5 knockouts, 2 submissions, and 5 decision wins. 2 knockout losses and 2 decision losses right there. So either way, whoever wins with Alexander Hernandez and Mike Breeden, I am going to say that they're going to win the fight by a knockout. The betting odds just came out as it is a short notice fight. Minus 300 for Alexander Hernandez and then plus 240 for Mike Breeden. And I'm not really too surprised. Alexander is not taking the fight on short notice. Mike is coming in on a week notice to fight Hernandez. Was faster, more powerful. There was more volume. I mean, there's really no way I see Mike Breeden winning because even if Mike Breeden goes out there coming forward, he's going to walk right into a big right hand and probably get knocked out, or a left hook and get right knocked out in the first round. If he's on the back foot, Hernandez is going to get his back to the cage and he's going to knock him out like that. So either way, I really don't see too much of a path to victory for Mike Breeden right here. He's going to be a little bit smaller in terms of the reach. The height's going to be very even, but Hernandez is going to keep on jabbing him up, eventually throw a big right hand or left hook and knock him out in the first or second round. I don't see Mike Breeden getting past the second round right here. I do think that Hernandez is going to knock him out fairly easily right here because, I mean, the cardio of Mike Breeden, he's probably going to go out there going for broke in the first and second round, and I think when that does happen, when you're going for broke because you're not going to have that cardio coming in on short notice, you tend to walk into a lot of those bigger shots, and Hernandez coming off that knockout on Chris Grechmacher, which was very, very impressive. I think he does a very similar thing here against Mike Breeden. So my prediction is going to be an Alexander Hernandez first or second round knockout. Really good fight in the lightweight division. Shayna Young and Stephanie Egger or Edger in the UFC women's bantamweight division. Stephanie Egger with 5 wins and 2 losses, a little bit older at 33 years old. Shayna Young in the prime of her career at 30 and a half years old, a little bit taller, but a lot less in the reach department right there. This one is really going to come down to how they keep range. Stephanie Egger needs to fight to stay at range, jabbing a 1-2 and leg kicking, body kicking, maybe using a little bit of wrestling and grappling as well. But Shayna Young needs to pressure the heck out of Stephanie Egger right here. That is her strategy, is just come forward and throw a lot of volume, a lot of pressure on her opponent, look to just overwhelm them with pressure. That's the game plan from Shayna Young right here, is to close that 3-inch reach advantage and just add on the most pressure possible on Stephanie Egger right here. Throw more volume, throw more pressure, and ultimately win the fight by a decision. Also, I do think that Shayna Young could definitely land a couple of takedowns on Stephanie Egger. Stephanie, her takedown defense didn't look that good in her last fight. Yeah, it was. Tracy Cortez was a much better wrestler and grappler than Shayna Young, but I do think Shayna Young has the better wrestling here, could definitely mix in a couple of takedowns. But even if the fight does stay on the feet and we don't see any wrestling or grappling, I still think that Shayna Young is going to throw a heck of a lot more volume than Stephanie Egger, and just come forward, put on the pressure, like she usually does. I mean, I've seen so many clips of her in her last couple of fights where she's literally coming forward like a rock'em sock'em robot and just doing that type of stuff. That is the way you're going to beat a girl like Stephanie Egger. It's just to put on the pressure, put on that volume, and just keep on throwing, keep on coming forward, and the judges will look at that and they'll give you the rounds. They'll give you the decision on the judges' scorecard. So I think this fight does go all the way. I don't see Shayna Young submitting Stephanie Egger. This is the main way she does win her fights, is either by a ground upon TKO or by submission. And I just don't see Stephanie Egger getting finished right here. If she did not get finished by Tracy Cortez, she's not going to get finished here. And I don't see Stephanie Egger getting a knockout or a submission on Shayna Young. This is pretty much a lock to go to a decision right here. Either way, whoever's going to win, I do think will win the decision. Not a knockout, not a submission. And because of the pressure, because of that volume, because of her constant just coming forward, throwing everything she has from Shayna Young, I am going to go Shayna Young to win the fight by a unanimous decision. But really good fight in the UFC at women's Bantamweight division. Antonina Shevchenko and Casey O'Neill in the women's flyweight division. It's a pretty easy prediction in my opinion. After watching the last fight from Antonina Shevchenko against Andrea Lee, yeah, I think Casey O'Neill is going to absolutely dominate this fight. I mean, she lost to Roxanne Modafferi by split decision 2 years ago. Yeah, that's not very impressive. I mean, to lose to Roxanne Modafferi at this time in her career, that is pretty sad, to be quite honest with you. But she did beat Ariane Lips. She showed some pretty good wrestling and grappling there. But fighting a girl like Casey O'Neill, who's gonna have a 1-inch reach advantage, not gonna necessarily be as tall as Antonina, but she's got very, very good hands and feet on the feet. She's a very good kickboxer, very good knees in the clinch, good Muay Thai. Her striking is very, very underrated, but her jiu-jitsu is amazing as well. She's going to go out there, kickbox at range for a bit, maybe clinch up, land some knees. And she's going to do exactly what Andrea Lee did, get the fight to the clinch and trip takedown Antonina Shevchenko over and over and over again. Now, Andrea Lee was able to get the submission, which is why I think there's a very, very good shot we see Casey O'Neill also get a submission right here, because every single one of her wins recently has been either a ground pound TKO or a rear naked in the second or third round. So this fight right here is very, very likely for Casey O'Neill just to go out there, take Antonina down and getting a submission very, very early. She's only 23, almost 24 years old, whereas Antonina, she's almost 37 years old in her UFC career right now. That is pretty old, to be quite honest with you. So the younger, the faster striker, in my opinion, the more powerful striker as well, and the better grappler. I do think that Casey O'Neill is all around. Striking is better. She's a faster striker, the more powerful striker, better in the clinch. She's got better wrestling. She's got better grappling. I really don't see too many flaws or downsides to Casey O'Neill here. I don't see any part of the game where Antonina is obviously better than Casey O'Neill. There's not really one specific point where I can kind of focus you to say Antonina is better there. So I really don't know what Antonina's game plan is gonna be to beat a girl like Casey O'Neill, who's just better in pretty much every facet of the game. So I do think we got a very, very good shot of Casey O'Neill getting a finish right here, but I am gonna say Casey O'Neill wins the fight by a 30-27 decision. On the feet, I see her out voluming Antonina Shevchenko and throwing the more powerful shots as well. And on the ground, I see her just staying on top, ground pounding the heck out of Antonina. She is devastating ground pound shots, already 2 ground pound TKOs so far in the UFC. So it's going to be a good fight, but my prediction right there in the UFC women's flyweight division is going to be a Casey O'Neill 30-27 decision. Really good fight in the women's flyweight division. Nico Price and Alex Oliveira in the welterweight division. banger of a fight right there. I cannot wait for Nico Price and Alex Oliveira. Alex is going to be a little bit smaller in terms of height, but a little bit longer in terms of reach. It's not going to play that big of a factor. The age right there, 32 and then 33 and a half years old, also not going to play the biggest factor. What is going to play a factor is the volume of Nico Price. It is absolutely insane. If we go into UFC stats right now, the volume from Nico Price compared to Alex Oliveira, it is absolutely insane. I mean, I honestly think for every jab that Alex Oliveira throws, Nico Price is throwing a jab, a right hand, a leg kick, and a left hook to the body. He's throwing 4 shots for every 1 shot that his opponent is throwing. It's absolutely insane. So the volume game of Nico Price is what I do think would get him the win right here. I mean, he has double the amount of strikes landing. The accuracy is going to Alex Oliveira. The strikes absorbed is, of course, going to Alex Oliveira. The striking defense is very even. But, I mean, Nico, recently, I mean, in the fight with Donald Cerrone, landed 150 strikes in a 3-round fight through 312 total strikes in the fight. Whereas if you look at Alex Oliveira right here, let's take a look. Was the most recent 3-rounder against Peter Zabata, landed 45 strikes and only threw 96 strikes. So I mean, literally, Nico Price is throwing 3 times more strikes and landing 3 times more strikes than Alex Oliveira, which is absolutely insane. The volume game of Nico Price is what's going to get him the win. Alex is going to stay at range, keep jabbing him up at range, front kick into the body, leg kicks, looking for that straight right hand counter. Nico Price is going to be coming forward with that volume, and I don't see how Alex Oliveira can win the fight because his cardio is not necessarily the best in the second and third round, and Nico Price, if he's going to keep on putting on that pressure and throwing as much volume as he has been. I mean, 150 strikes to 45 strikes, that is way more volume. So the way Alex Oliveira is going to win is to evade that volume, stay on the outside, jab up Nico Price, 1-2 Nico Price, stay on the outside, front kicks, leg kicks, just stay away from the pressure. But no one, and I'm telling you, no one can stay away from the pressure. Even Vicente Luque, I believe a top 6 welterweight in the world, could not stay away from the pressure of Nico Price. I mean, if you look at the strikes landed right there, 129 to 130. Total strikes, 144 to 130. He outlanded Vicente Luque. And you might be thinking maybe all of those were body shots or leg kicks. 65% of the head and 62% of the head. I mean, Nico Price put on a very close fight with Vicente Luque. He arguably won that third round. 51 strikes to 39 right there. He did get TKO'd. But if you're doing that well against a guy like Vicente Luque, and you're coming forward, putting on that type of volume with a guy like Vicente who's so much more powerful, so much faster, throws more volume than Alex Oliveira, I mean, I just don't see Alex Oliveira doing anything to stop that pressure in Nico Price. Nico's going to keep on coming forward, and he's going to win the fight by a dominant decision. I don't agree with these odds right here. I think he should be a much bigger favorite. I mean, minus 128 is absolutely crazy. He should be a much bigger favorite with the volume that Nico Price puts out there. So my prediction right there in the UFC welterweight division is going to be a Nico Price unanimous decision. I'm not even going to say 29-28. I'm going 30-27 every single round in the striking game. A lot of people are going knockout right here. I'm going to go Nico Price by a decision. I think Alex Oliveira survives somehow all of that volume and loses the fight by decision. But amazing fight in the welterweight division right there. Alejandro Perez and Johnny Eduardo in the UFC Bantamweight division. Johnny Eduardo, 41 years old. Oh my gosh. 71-inch reach right there. And then a 5'7" height. So yeah, he's going to be the taller fighter. He's going to be the lengthier fighter. He's going to be the more experienced fighter by quite a bit. I mean, Alejandro Perez is a very experienced fighter, but Johnny Eduardo, he's been fighting for quite a while. And 41 years old for Johnny Eduardo. Absolutely insane. Johnny likes to keep the fight at range. Keep the movement on you. Just jab, 1-2. Attack the lead leg with leg kicks. That's just the game of Johnny Eduardo. Use that range, use the movement, stay on the outside, and pick you apart from the outside. That is the game of Johnny Eduardo on how he wins. Sometimes he gets your back to the cage and just starts throwing. But for this fight, I do not see Johnny Eduardo being on the front foot. Alejandro Perez, there's no chance he's going to let Johnny Eduardo go on the front foot. Because if Johnny Eduardo's on the front foot, I mean, Alejandro Perez is going to have to resort to a more counter-punching game, which is not going to do very well. Because if you're the counter-puncher puncher, and you're fighting a guy with this big of a reach advantage, you're not going to land that many counter shots. He's just going to keep on jabbing and straight right, and then getting onto the outside. You're not going to land too many counters, so I really doubt Alejandro Perez is going to be on the back foot. 100% Alejandro is going to be moving forward, put it on the pressure on Johnny Eduardo, and just throw in volume. They both throw very similar volume. They both land very, very similar volume. It's going to be a very even fight in my opinion. But I do think Alejandro Perez is a little bit more powerful. He's got a lot better striking defense than Johnny Eduardo. The wrestling and the grappling is pretty even. It's pretty even. It can definitely go either way. Johnny Eduardo, he's got a couple of those heel hook submissions on his record. Alejandro has a couple of rear nakeds. But I just don't see the wrestling and grappling really playing too much of a factor here. I really see the main factors being if Johnny Eduardo can keep the fight at range where Alejandro is not putting on too much pressure. It's really gonna come down to how much pressure Alejandro Perez can put on Johnny Eduardo. If it's just a little bit, I'm gonna go Johnny Eduardo by decision. If he goes out there like a Nico Price, just comes forward and throws a buttload of volume for 3 straight rounds, just pressures the heck out of Johnny Eduardo, yeah, I'm gonna go Alejandro Perez, and that's exactly what I think is gonna happen. He's 41 years old, hasn't fought in 3 straight years. Yeah, Alejandro hasn't fought in 2 years, but I still know he has that style to be able to come forward for 3 rounds and just continue to put on that pressure. He's got more power, he's got more speed, he has the volume, he has the pressure, and I do think he's gonna win the fight by a decision right here. I can see a knockout. I can definitely see a knockout because he is coming off a knockout loss to Matthew Lopez and then that submission loss to Nathaniel Wood. I'm going to go the fight goes all the way. I'm going to go Alejandro Perez by a 29-28 decision. I'll give 1 round of Johnny Eduardo, keeping the fight at range and slightly outstriking Alejandro Perez. But the other 2 rounds, I see Alejandro put it on that pressure, put on that volume, and win in the fight by a decision. Really good fight in the UFC Bantamweight division. Jamie Mullarkey and Devontae Smith in the UFC Lightweight division. It's going to be a very, very close fight. 76-inch reach for Devontae Smith, a 74-inch reach for Jamie Mullarkey, so he's going to be a little bit longer in terms of reach, but he's going to be quite a bit smaller in terms of height right there, so it kind of evens out if you think about it. But 71% going Smith by knockout mainly, 29% going Mullarkey by knockout mainly. If Mullarkey wins the fight, I think Mullarkey is going to win by knockout, in my opinion. If Devontae Smith is going to win, I'm gonna say a decision. I'm gonna say a decision or a counter right hand knockout on Jamie Mullarkey. Those are the main ways I see both guys winning. But Jamie Mullarkey in the fight with Kama Worthy, he looked amazing. I mean, he went forward, had a really, really solid head movement, really solid movement around the cage, came in with a left hook, came in with that overhand right earlier in the round, and he caught him with both of them. He caught him with the overhand right, and then he ended up dropping him with a left hand, and then all the ground up on a TKO'd him. But he looked very, very fast and very, very powerful against Kama Worthy. Now, Devontae Smith is also going to be very, very fast and very, very powerful. That is why it's such an even fight. But I think Devontae Smith, his counter-punching game can kind of counteract that newfound movement of Jamie Mullarkey, and that left hook and overhand right that he caught Kama Worthy with. It's going to be a lot harder to land on Devontae Smith, because every single time he tries to land one of those looping overhand rights or left hooks, the guy with the reach advantage here in Devontae Smith, the longer guy by 2 inches, is going to pop out that jab and get on the outside. Pop out the jab straight right, get on the outside. Every time Jamie Mullarkey comes in with a left hook or overhand right, or whatever combination he's trying to do, Devontae Smith is going to counter him with a jab and then a straight right down the pipe. It's going to be very tough to enter that space, to land some really notable shots on Devontae Smith because of that reach advantage and because he's just going to keep on jabbing a 1-2 in that range. So I do think Devontae Smith is going to land more shots in terms of volume because he's going to be countering with that jab straight right. But I do think Jamie Mullarkey is going to be landing the more powerful shots. It's one of those fights. I mean, you don't know how the judges are gonna swing in the fight. I think we're gonna see a decision. I mean, a lot of people out there, including probably all of you guys, are saying Devontae Smith by knockout, Jamie Mullarkey by knockout. But I think when you get 2 guys like this with so much power, so much speed, so much movement, all that type of stuff, you tend to see the fight either be like a fast 30-second knockout because someone's just going all out going for that finish and they end up getting knocked out, or you see a very technical striking fight, which is exactly what I think is going to happen here. I think Jamie Mullarkey is going to stand on the outside, pick his shots very carefully, come in with that left hook every now and then, come in with that overhand right every now and then, and Devontae Smith is just going to keep on doing the jab, the 1-2. He's just going to make it a very technical striking fight. And that's why it's such a hard fight to predict, because how are you going to know how the judges are going to look at the fight? That is why it's a very, very 50-50 fight in my opinion. I think the odds should be -110 or -110 because of how close it is. I mean, right now it's at -155. I don't blame him. I'm also going to go Devontae Smith to win. I think he's going to out-volume Jamie Mullarkey and get the decision right here by 29-28. But it's tough. It's very tough because Jamie Mullarkey, he's gonna land the more powerful shots in my opinion, but Devontae's gonna land more. It's one of those fights, but I'm gonna go Devontae Smith. I think he's just gonna be countering Jamie Mullarkey with that jab and a 1-2 as he's coming in, attacking the leg with outside leg kicks, front kicks at range, and just out voluming Jamie Mullarkey. Out of two out of the 3 rounds, he'll out volume him and win the fight by a decision. Not a fight. I'm with like 100% on Devontae Smith because I can definitely see Jamie Mullarkey winning the fight if he ups the volume to the level of Devontae Smith and lands the more powerful shots. But it's a very close one. I'm very slightly leaning Devontae Smith, but really good fight in the lightweight division right there. Douglas Andrade and Gaetano Pirello in the UFC Bantamweight division. Douglas Andrade, he's gonna be a little bit lengthier by a half inch right there. He is 36 years old compared to a 29-year-old prime Gaetano Pirello, but prime Gaetano Pirello is not really that good, to be quite honest with you. Douglas Andrade, when he's 40, is probably still going to be better than Gaetano Pirello, if I'm being quite honest. I mean, the fight with Ricky Simon, he did take on short notice, and did lose the fight by arm, a triangle choke submission, got out-grappled, out-wrestled, and got submitted in the second round. His striking did not look good either. I mean, both guys right here in Gaetano Pirello and Douglas Andrade are looking to keep the fight on the feet and look for a knockout or look for a striking a decision win. Out of those 15 wins, 11 knockout wins for Douglas Andrade. If we look way down here, we got 19 knockout wins. So we know exactly what both guys are going to do. Gaetano's going to keep the fight at range, look for the jab and the overhand right. Just try to keep the fight at range and just just trying to out-volume you very slightly. Just make it a very technical striking fight and out-volume you by just a little bit to edge you out on those judges' scorecards, or maybe counter you as you're coming in with a big right hand. He also has a very deadly liver shot that he showed against Enzo Maria Iezzi right there a couple of years ago. But right here, Gaetano needs to play the counter-punching game. He needs to have a lot of really good movement to stay away from the pressure of Douglas Andrade, and that's what I'm really afraid of for Gaetano Pirello, is the pressure of Douglas Andrade. Because last fight, even with a guy like Ricky Simon, who's not the best striker, every now and then Ricky would get Gaetano's back to the cage, and he just continued to land a left hook and a right hook over and over again. He's landing some really big shots, and if a guy like Douglas Andrade lands those type of shots, you might get knocked out. I mean, he got wins over Cody Gibson, got wins over Marlon Vera, Hannah Barral. The only guys he's losing to are Rob Font, a top 5 contender in the bantamweight division, Petr Yan, the greatest bantamweight in the world right now, and then Lerone Murphy, an undefeated up-and-coming featherweight fighter. So he's losing to very good guys. Gaetano Pirello is nowhere near that level. If he's going out there beating Marlon Vera, just put it on that pressure, just getting Marlon Vera's back to the cage, throwing really big shots, and he out-volleyed Marlon Vera as well as landing the more powerful shots. If you're doing that to Marlon Vera, if you're getting such close fights with like Rob Font and Zubaira Tukhugov, and you're fighting Gaetano Pirello, I don't see Gaetano Pirello winning this one. He has some power. I mean, the body shots are there, but I think the pressure of Douglas Andrade is going to be way too much. I'm gonna picture a 30-27 decision here. I don't see many opportunities for Gaetano to win. He can't out-wrestle, out-grapple Douglas Andrade. He needs to hope for a Hail Mary counter-punch and knock out Douglas Andrade. If that doesn't happen, which I don't think it will, Douglas Andrade is going to win the fight. So my prediction right there in the UFC at Bantamweight division, sorry about that, had a burp, is going to be Douglas Andrade winning that fight by a 30-27 decision. Really good fight in the Bantamweight division right there. Karol Rosa and Pech Koheda in the Bantamweight division. Karol Rosa, the 15th best Bantamweight fighter in the world. on the Tapology website right here. Pechko, the number 17 bantamweight in the world, not necessarily doing too good recently, losing to Holly Holm by knockout, Irene Aldana by submission, beating Sajari Eubanks. Decent win right there, to be quite honest with you. And then she lost to Pandy Kianza by domination. She's going to be a lot less in the reach department from Carol Rosa. On the feet, Pechko needs to go out there and look for a knockout. I mean, on the ground, Carol Rosa is going to absolutely destroy Pechko. So, Bech, you need to just go for broke in the striking and look for that knockout, because if you don't get the knockout in the striking, you're going to get taken down and you're going to get destroyed there. But on the feet anyway, I still give the advantage to Carol Rosa. She throws more volume. The power, I say goes to Pechko, but she does throw more volume. Just jabbing 1-2 and leg kicking at range. Eventually looking for the double leg takedown, that trip takedown against the cage. But I mean, come on, this is a parlay piece if I ever saw one. Carol Rosa is going to go out there, 26 years old, amazing wrestling, dominating Jocelyn Edwards, Vanessa Mello, beating Lara Procopio. She's got very, very solid wrestling and grappling. Her most recent losses are to a PFL fighter in Larissa Pacheco, the second best lightweight fighter in the world in the women's division, and then Melissa Gatto, who we saw looked amazing against Victoria Leonardo in that last fight. Those are her only two losses as a professional MMA fighter. I really doubt that Pechko is going to be another one of those losses there. Carol Rosa is going to go out there, dominate her on the not necessarily dominate her on the feet, but outland her by a little bit on the feet, and then dominate her on the ground. She's going to ground upon the heck out of Pechko. I mean, if she can do what she did to Jocelyn Edwards, yeah, the exact same thing's gonna happen right here. I really don't see any real way that Pechko does not lose the fight. Parlay piece for Carol Rosa right there. Easy peasy win for Carol Rosa. She's gonna out-wrestle, out-grapple, out-ground pound, and out-strike Pechko. Just every facet of the game, Carol Rosa will be better. So my prediction right there in the UFC bantamweight division is Carol Rosa by a 30-27 decision. Really good fight in the bantamweight division right there. Joe Solecki and Jared Gordon in the UFC lightweight division. Joe Solecki with 11 wins and 2 losses, 28 years old, 5'9" inches tall, and a 70.5-inch reach. Going to be a little bit younger, a little bit more in the prime of his career, a little bit longer. The height is going to be very, very even right there, but this fight is really going to come down to how does Jared Gordon defend the takedowns. He's got very solid takedown defense. I believe of 87% so far inside the UFC, which is very, very solid, if I'm getting that correctly. Let's see right here. Never mind, 55% takedown defense. It's not that bad. It's not that bad, to be quite honest. But he's never faced a guy like Joe Solecki. Every single time Joe Solecki goes out there, he gets a takedown early in that first round and either submits him like he did to James Wallace and as he did to Austin Hubbard, or he takes him down in the first round, takes him down in the second round, and takes him down in the third round to a dominant decision. That's just what Joe Solecki does. He keeps the fight on the feet, has you come to him and you need to put on the pressure, then he'll go down for that single leg takedown, take you down, ground and pound you for 3 straight rounds to a decision, and that's exactly what I see happening here. Jared Gordon, he's known to just come forward, put on the pressure, just go for some really big left hooks, right hooks, uppercuts, overhand rights, just some really big shots, and look for the knockout when your back is in the cage. Fighting a guy like Joe Solecki, I don't know how well that's going to play out, because Joe's going to go right down for a takedown, take you down, go right upon you, and look for that submission. But Jared Gordon, he's got some pretty solid submission defense. All of his losses are by knockout to Charles Oliveira, Joaquin Silva, and then Diego Ferreira. So I think Joe Solecki's going to win right here. I think he's going to go out there, play the counter-punching game and the striking as Jared Gordon's coming in, land the takedown, get on top, and go right upon the heck out of Jared Gordon for 3 straight rounds. Another advantage for Joe Solecki is that Jared Gordon is moving from featherweight to the lightweight division. Gonna have the size advantage as well. So, I mean, there's a lot of things going for Joe Solecki here. My prediction, 100% gonna be Joe Solecki winning that fight by a 30-27 decision. Really good fight in the lightweight division right there. Misha Kirganov and Krzysztof Jotko in the middleweight division. Misha Kirganov moving down from the light heavyweight division to the middleweight division, which is 20 pounds in a weight. I mean, his last fight was 6 months ago, and in 6 months, he's going to drop from 205 all the way down to 185 pounds. He's going to have a 2-inch height advantage right there, going to be a little bit older than Krzysztof Jotko as well. going to be a very, very interesting fight to see because I don't know how he's going to look with the weight cut. This is going to be an early prediction. I might honestly switch this one around because I don't know how well of the weight cut that Misha Kurganov is going to have right here. Moving 20 pounds down from light heavyweight to middleweight, but Krzysztof Jotko needs to fight to stay on the feet. He's got some pretty solid takedown defense. Got 3 wins over Alan Amadovsky, Marc-Andre Barrialt, and Eric Anders, only losing to ranked opponents like Sean Strickland, Brian Tavares, Uriah Hall, David Branch, and then one guy right here who I believe is not a ranked opponent, but pretty much all of his wins, all of his losses are against very, very solid ranked opponents. Doesn't really have the power that's going to scare his opponent too much. 5 knockout wins, 2 submissions, and 15 decisions. He doesn't really have the power. I mean, he just keeps the fight at range, 1-2s, looks for some decently big shots every now and then. Just looking to get the decision. His last 3 wins, decision win right there, and then another decision win. If he's going to win against Misha Kurganov, usually if you're going to beat Misha, you're going to knock him out, like Ryan Spann did, like Johnny Walker did, like Glover Teixeira did, like Volkan Oezdemir did, like I'm assuming these 2 guys here did as well. That's the way you're going to beat Misha Kurganov, is to knock him out early in that first round, but Krzysztof Jotko does not have the power that I'm going to be too scared for Misha Kurganov to get knocked out. So Misha, I believe, is going to put on the pressure because he's not going to be worried about the power of Jotko as much as he did in the light heavyweight division. He's going to come forward, throw some pretty big shots, or a big overhand left or something. Sorry about that, I had a burp. Go down for the takedown, get it down, and win the fight on the ground by submission in the first... I don't know why I have a burp right now, but win the fight by submission in the first or second round. It is going to be a close fight. I mean, if Jotko is going to win, I do think it'll be a 30-27 decision in the striking game. If Misha Kurganov is going to win, I do think it's going to be a submission win in the first or second round. But it's a very, very close fight. Can definitely go either way. I really don't know how Misha Kurganov is going to look in this middleweight division. But I do think because of the power disadvantage for Jotko right here, Misha's going to come forward with some pretty big shots to go down for the takedown and out-wrestle Krzysztof Jotko in the first round and submit him in the second round. He seems to do that a lot. I mean, he submitted Jimmy Crute. I mean, that's absolutely insane. Submitted Patrick Cummings in the first round, Nikita Krylov in the first round. He's submitting all of these guys in the first, second, or third round. I mean, every single win in the UFC is a submission win. I got him winning by submission right here. I think he gets the fight down and submits Krzysztof Jotko in the first or second round. A really good fight in the middleweight division. Kevin Holland and Kyle Dawkins in the UFC middleweight division. Kevin Holland not doing too good recently. I mean, he fought Derek Brunson and then Marvin Vettori, 2 very, very good wrestlers inside of the UFC middleweight division. Now, those 2 wrestlers right there were the best wrestlers in the middleweight division. I mean, Derek Brunson, the number 4 contender, and Marvin Vettori, the number 5 contender. This is a really, really big step down in competition fighting Kyle Dawkins right here. Because Kyle Dawkins, he does have some solid wrestling, some solid grappling. But his striking is decent. His striking is decent, but of course, the main way he's going to win, 8 wins by submission, 2 wins by decision. He needs to go out there and look for that submission win. He needs to go out there, get the double leg takedown, get the clinch trip takedown on Kevin Holland. But I think Kevin Holland is going to win right here. He's been training, I forgot, I think they said American Top Team for a while there. He's been training some wrestling very, very solidly for the last couple of months. It's been 4 months since the fight with Marvin Vettori, but he's been training a lot in terms of wrestling in the last couple of months. Now, will it be enough to defend all of the takedowns from Kyle Dawkins? No, I don't think so. But will it be enough to defend most of them? A couple of them and keep the fight on the feet for the most part? Yes, I do think so. I think for the most part, we're going to see the fight stay on the feet. If Kyle Dawkins gets the fight down, I don't see him letting too much ground and pound because Kevin Holland, he lands ground and pound from the bottom as well. I see him getting up fairly quickly. I mean, of course, Kyle Dawkins is going to land a couple of takedowns here and there, but Kevin Holland, his striking advantage is going to be way, way bigger than Kyle Dawkins right here. The height's going to be very even, but a 5-inch reach advantage for Kyle Dawkins. He's just going to keep on jabbing Kyle Dawkins at range, overhand rights on Kyle Dawkins, and I do think that Kevin Holland is going to knock out Kyle Dawkins in the first or second round. I'll go second round right here. It just worries me. I mean, after watching the Marvin Vettori fight and the Derek Brunson fight, it does worry me on if Kyle Dawkins is going to out-grapple Kevin Holland to another decision win. But I'm going to go Kevin Holland here. I think he keeps the fight on the feet, just jabs up Kyle Dawkins at range, and as he's coming in to go for the takedown, overhand right or an uppercut as he's going down for that takedown. So I think we're either going to see an overhand right knockout or an uppercut knockout win from Kevin Holland right here. I think he wins the fight and goes on to fight next in the middleweight division. Who's he going to fight next? I really do not know. Darren Till, maybe that's a fight that they can make next. Darren Till versus versus Kevin Holland could definitely be the fight to make next. So if Kevin Holland can get past Kyle Dawkins, put two really good strikers and Kevin Holland and Darren Till together, and I do think that's what's gonna happen. I think Kevin Holland goes out there, keeps the fight at range, jabs him up, overhand rights him, or uppercuts him, and gets a knockout in the first or second round. Really good fight in the middleweight division. Aspen Ladd and Macy Chiasson in the women's bantamweight division. The co-main event for UFC Fight Night, Santos versus Walker. Aspen Ladd, of course, we know what she's gonna do: out-wrestle, out-grapple, ground upon the heck out of Macy Chiasson, and win the fight by a ground upon TKO. If you look at the reach, it's a 6-inch reach advantage right there, as well as a 5-inch height advantage for Macy Chiasson. That is an incredible advantage for Macy Chiasson right there. Macy is also a decent grappler, has a couple of ground upon TKO submission wins, but no, she does not want the fight to hit the mat. I mean, if the fight hits the mat against Aspen Ladd, she's gonna be toast. And I saw the fight for Marion Reneau versus Macy Chiasson, and yeah, Macy Chiasson got taken down by Marion Reneau. That's just sad. That is just sad right there. I mean, yeah, she only got control for 2.5 minutes right there, but to get taken down twice by Marion Reneau, oh, that's unacceptable. I'm sorry, Macy Chiasson, that is unacceptable. Just for that, I'm going Aspen Ladd to win in the fight. I mean, originally when I first saw the fight, I had Aspen Ladd by a ground upon TKO, but I'm gonna go a decision. Macy Chiasson is a pretty tough cookie. It's gonna survive the 3 rounds, but I do think Aspen Ladd's gonna go out there, throw some really big hooks, uppercuts, overhand rights, just some really big shots to close that distance, go down for the double leg takedown or the clinch trip takedown as well. But I don't see her being able to defend the takedowns. Obviously on the feet, she'll be able to jab 1-2, kick, leg kick, body kick, just 1-2 for the decision win. But that is if the fight is on the feet, which I do not think the fight's going to be, because if you're getting taken down by Marion Reneau, goddamn, I mean, Marion Reneau is like 41 years old. Like, seriously, Marion Reneau is 44 years old, and you're getting taken down by Marion Reneau, who is nowhere near the wrestling of Aspen Ladd. So this is a very easy prediction. I think Aspen Ladd is going to go out there, put it under pressure with some really big shots, a double leg or clinch trip takedown, ground upon the heck out of Macy Chiasson, 30-27, 30-27, and 30-27, unanimous decision. A really good fight in the Bantamweight division right there. Thiago Santos and Johnny Walker in the light heavyweight division. The two predictions I'm going for right here are Thiago Santos by knockout in the first or second round, or Johnny Walker in a very technical decision win. He's in the prime of his MMA career, 29 years old, with a 6-inch reach advantage and a 4-inch height advantage over Thiago Santos right there. His chin, it's not the best. It is not the best. Getting knocked out by Corey Anderson and almost getting knocked out by Ryan Spann in that first round right there. He doesn't really have the best chin, in my opinion. So again, if Thiago Santos is going to win, he needs to pressure the heck out of Johnny Walker, come forward, get his back to the cage, and just start swinging and looking for that knockout. That's the main way I do think Thiago Santos is going to win. But after watching the fight with Alisson Arakic, I don't know if we're going to see the same Thiago Santos that fought John Jones a couple years ago, or if we're going to see the Thiago Santos that ended up fighting Alisson Arakic. I mean, in the fight with Arakic, he landed a lot of body shots in the clinch, a lot of leg shots in the clinch as well, but he just didn't look that good. I mean, he lost the fight by a 30-27 decision. I mean, he won one of the rounds as well right there, but if he's gonna do that against Johnny Walker right here, he's gonna lose. Because they're kind of staying at range, kind of kickboxing for 3 straight rounds. And if you do that with Johnny Walker, Johnny is so much taller, so much lengthier than Thiago Santos. He's got body kicks, he's got leg kicks, front kicks, jabs, overhand rights, left hooks. He's got all those opportunities at range to land on Thiago Santos. So if Thiago Santos is doing what he did against Rakic, staying at range, and just kickboxing with Johnny Walker. Johnny Walker is gonna win the fight by a decision. So it's a very, very even fight right here. I think Thiago Santos can definitely win if he puts on the pressure, comes forward, and tries to get Johnny Walker's back to the cage and starts throwing and looking for the knockout. If he does that, he's gonna win the fight by knockout. But I just don't see him doing that. I mean, I don't know if there's something wrong with his knee or something. After the fight with John Jones, he's kind of gone very, very downhill since then, and his movement hasn't really looked that good. His explosiveness hasn't really looked that good recently. And he's going to need that explosiveness to come forward on Johnny Walker and land that knockout blow. And I don't know. I'm going to go the underdog in Johnny Walker right here. I think it's a very, very close fight. Again, Thiago, I know you can go out there and get the knockout. It's very, very likely that is what's going to happen right here. But I think Johnny Walker is going to use that height, use that reach, stay at range, stay on the outside, because of the movement of Thiago Santos hasn't looked too good recently, and he's going to need that movement to close that distance and land the shot. He's not going to be able to. So I think the fight goes all the way. I see Johnny Walker picking Thiago Santos apart from the outside and winning the fight by, I'll go a 49-46 unanimous decision right there. Really good fight in the light heavyweight division. But yeah, those are my full card predictions for UFC Fight Night Santos versus Walker. I got Johnny Walker winning his fight in the main event, Hassan Ladd winning her fight in the co-main event, Kevin Holland winning his fight in the middleweight division, Misha Kirganov winning his fight in the middleweight division, Joe Salekio winning his fight in the lightweight division, Carol Rosa winning her fight in the bantamweight division, Douglas Andrade winning his fight in the bantamweight division, Devontae Smith winning his fight in the lightweight division, Alejandro Perez winning his fight in the bantamweight division, Nico Price winning his fight in the welterweight division, Casey O'Neill winning her fight in the women's flyweight division, Shayna Young winning her fight in the women's bantamweight division, and Alexander Hernandez winning his fight in the lightweight division. Those are my full card predictions for UFC Fight Night Santos versus Walker. If you guys like the video, subscribe to the channel and everything like that, and we'll see you in the next video. Let's go.